This unit of work allows further development of Gardner's multiple intelligences with the aim of nurturing well-rounded children with the ability to think divergently and creatively. The arts lessons in the 4 domains of visual arts, music, dance and drama provide authentic learning experiences with equal opportunities for all students to participate in a safe environment where they feel empowered through agency in their learning and, most importantly, to have fun. Students are allowed a degree of choice within their arts learning, but still within a structured framework guided by the teacher. Students need to continually develop their proficiencies, skills, and knowledge of the arts and be encouraged to think creatively.
The unit structure. The unit has been organised to ensure quality outcomes through focusing on growth of learning, building on prior authentic arts education, child-centred teaching, providing agency, meaningful activities, inclusive lessons, and introducing the arts through incorporating diverse perspectives. All 4 art forms of visual arts, dance, music, and drama will be equally incorporated. The lessons will be scheduled every Wednesday afternoon session, giving the students an enjoyable lesson to break up the week. If more time is needed, another lesson can be scheduled for Friday within the middle session, approximately 60 minutes a week.
Stage, class, and diversity. This unit's designed for a Year 4 Stage 2 class of 26 students situated within a public school in a middle-class socio-economic area, to be completed over a 9-week duration in Term 2. Diversity in the classroom includes 3 students with autism spectrum disorder, 1 student with sight issues, and 6 students from Indigenous Australian and Asian backgrounds. 3 students in the class currently have ILPs and experience difficulties in managing their emotions in the classroom environment. To support students, stay-on-task class activities will be adjusted dependent on the skill level and maturity of the students involved, as well as providing agency within the unit to support students' motivation and engagement. Individual assistance or scaffolding instructions will be given to students as the need arises. The unit will also ensure that use of keywords, visuals are used, as this can enhance understanding of the task and visually support knowledge to provide achievable challenges for students of varying abilities.
Theme and focus of the unit. The overarching theme of the unit is diversity and looking at other perspectives. The focus is on appreciating the uniqueness of ourselves and celebrating the differences of others. Resource texts such as Same, Same But Different by Jenny Sue Kozlecki-Shaw and the Pixar video Loop. These will be explored and provide the stimulus for the 4 areas of creative arts in this unit. There were underlying attitudes from the students in Term 1 that were not always inclusive of others, with some students displaying elements of low self-esteem. For this reason, the theme for creative arts learning in Term 2 will focus on the theme of our world, allowing students to focus on appreciating the uniqueness of ourselves and celebrating the difference of others. Through the unit, existing attitudes from students can be challenged, helping to foster a culture of inclusion within the classroom and solidify thinking which is free from stereotypes. While students have not been given a choice with the theme, they are allowed agency through focus lessons on broad themes that allow students to pick subject matter that appeals to them and remain engaged in learning through the arts. Progression of the lessons will be encompassing themes allows the students to develop a deeper understanding of acceptance of difference whilst developing further skills in the arts.
The first resource, Same, Same But Different by Jenny Sue Kozlecki-Shaw, is about a boy named Elliot who paints a picture of his world when he is in art class. His teacher sends it across the world to another boy named Kalish, who paints a picture of his world in return to Elliot. The 2 boys start writing to each other and share information about their lives. Through comparing the lives of the 2 boys, students will see, through comparing and contrasting, that while the boys have many differences, they also share a lot of similarities. The teacher can use this book as a stimulus to relate students to the differences within the classroom and community through discussion about how it can enrich classroom experiences, but also exploring how we are all alike in other ways. For instance, the students are all in Year 4, live in the same area, go to the same school, and belong to a classroom community together.
Loop, a Pixar short video on Disney+. Loop centers around two kids at canoe camp, a non-verbal autistic girl named Renee and a chatty boy called Marcus. Renee and Marcus find themselves adrift on a lake, learning to understand each other. They are unable to move forward until they can find a way to connect and see the world through each other's eyes. Renee enjoys playing ringtones on her phone and touching interesting textures like the reeds. She communicates by vocalizing, gesturing, and showing people things on her phone. It enables the viewers to gain a sense of the way that a non-speaking person might communicate their feelings differently. The story shares an important message of the power of empathy and taking steps to understand what someone else is going through rather than passing judgment. It promotes autism acceptance, celebrates difference, and helps inspire change.
Here is the syllabus outcomes for stage 2 that the students will be working through within this creative arts unit.
We've also provided a brief lesson overview, introducing the unit, looking at the 2 visual arts lessons, the 2 music lessons, 2 dance lessons, and also the 2 drama lessons. This will be emailed to each person at the end of this presentation so that they can look over this themselves.
Creativity. The tasks and activities throughout this unit have been selected to be accessible to all students, regardless of perceived artistic ability. All tasks are open-ended and scaffolded for enthusiastic engagement to encourage and generate learning with the confidence, as well as develop students' creative capacity. This unit will support creative and critical thinkers, not just in creative arts, but support student understanding across all subjects as students progress with their schooling.
Assessment and evidence of learning. The creative arts provides opportunities for students to learn to work within and learn about the art forms of visual art, music, drama, and dance. The relationships between learning to and learning about are central to the students' development of knowledge, skills, and understanding, and their development of values about the art forms. This will inform the assessment process throughout the unit. Evidence of student learning will take place through creative arts journals, student feedback, exit slips, observations, appreciation of work, class discussion, and participation in performances. Evidence collected throughout the assessment process will be used to ensure students are progressing according to the outcomes for stage 2. Assessment will also guide future creative arts units and promote learning.
Visual arts. Overview of visual arts lessons. Students further develop meaning in their world by investigating and expressing their ideas through making and appreciating visual art. Encountering diversity represented in the subject matter for visual arts lessons helps to foster a sense of belonging for all students. While students are provided with agency in their lessons to follow their interests through experimentation, both individually and collaboratively, they still need to be explicitly taught the skills, knowledge, and understandings of their visual arts, thus allowing students to see the connections between artists, artworks, audiences, and the meaning behind them. The big idea for the visual arts lessons within this unit will have students understanding how to create an abstract self-portrait incorporating colour to help convey meaning, feelings, and uniqueness of the individual.
Music. Overview of the music lessons. In the music unit, students will consider the question, why music, and how can we begin to understand diversity through sound? Students will explore music and experiment with unconventional instruments to connect with their fellow classmates and create an enriched learning environment. To strengthen the classroom community, students will have the opportunity to bring unconventional music instruments from home such as a soccer ball, didgeridoo, might be containers with assorted household items. Students will use these items to explore musical concepts such as pitch, duration, tempo, pulse, timbre, structure, dynamics, texture, and style. The big idea of the music lesson is that music can help us learn about diversity and does not have to be expressed with conventional instruments. Music can be expressed through tempo, beat, and varied musical elements. These are in lesson 5 of 9, the music in more detail looks at these outcomes and will also focus on the learning intention where students get to perform their music piece to their peers. The introduction of the lesson will recap on the previous lesson where students were working towards a composition by improvising on one note, the note C. Students will do a warm-up, which is rhythm development idea for percussion. Students will be expanding on the idea of echo clapping and be looking at call and response ideas. They will need to reply with a different response to what the teacher has demonstrated. The teacher will start with echo clapping, move into call and response orally, and teacher will clap a tune. Choose a student to produce a different idea than the teacher. And then the class will repeat the chosen student response. Questions will be asked such as, what did you hear? Was it fast or slow? Was it loud or soft? Did you notice a beat? The key to the warm-up is for students to recognize patterns and begin to develop a wider range of rhythms through body percussion and making connections to the tempo and beat of music. The lesson body will look at composition and performance. Teacher will explain that the students will be working with the unconventional instruments from home to create a rap song that they will perform in the school assembly later in the term. Using the following YouTube video as a model to demonstrate to students how a traditional nursery rhyme can be used to create a rap song. After viewing the YouTube clip, the teacher can work with students on how we can write musical notes to add to our rap song. As a class, you will discuss options for writing musical notations to the video we just viewed. The teacher will then demonstrate on the board what this could look like. It could consist of circles equal 1 bang of the soccer boot, squiggly lines equal 3 shuffles, or dotted lines equal 2 taps of the hairbrush. Students can now work in groups and begin to organize sound by taking an already existing melody such as Mary Had a Little Lamb, London Bridge is Falling Down, or it could be Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And they'll begin to create their rap song based off these nursery rhymes, and they'll perform this piece with their unconventional music instruments. The teacher will need to get the students to write down their music notes in their music journals. At the end of the lesson, students will get to perform their ideas to the rest of the class in a fun and creative environment. Students will perform their piece to the whole class, and this will be filmed to provide feedback to the students. An exit slip will be provided so students can reflect on their performance, and it will guide assessment for the unit. The differentiation in the unit will look at activities that can be adjusted to suit the children with ILPs. This can look at the children certain children moving away from loud sounds to the quiet corner in the classroom to work on their piece. Teaching considerations, make sure to remind students of the classroom expectations and the rules. The resources are also listed on this slide.
Dance. Overview of the dance lessons. We allow students to use their whole bodies whilst investigating the world, giving students the opportunity to demonstrate a different form of intelligence through physical manipulation of their bodies. The development of knowledge, skills, and understanding in dance is done by students composing, performing, and appreciating their own dances and that of others. Students display an understanding of the elements of dance through using action, dynamics, time, relationships, space, and structure. Various contexts of dance provide inspiration for the creation of dance ideas. The big idea for the dance lessons in the unit would be that students will be able to create dance representing different perspectives and be able to explain the importance of looking at the bigger picture and not just their own perspective. Dance in more detail. This lesson plan is lesson 7 of 9. These are the outcomes that they'll be expected to achieve with their learning intention. So the lesson introduction will be a recap of the previous learning with the video loop. Discuss with the class the 2 different perspectives of Marcus and Renee, making sure to point out and explain the importance of looking at the big picture and not just our own perspectives. The students will warm up by standing and finding their own space. Using the high energy song, Red Light, Green Light, students will make a different shape with their bodies whenever the words red light are repeated, and it's repeated a lot. Otherwise, they can freeform dance. The body of the lesson will still use loop as a stimulus. Students each create shapes in pairs that represent the 2 different views of Marcus and Renee. For example, from Renee's perspective, they may focus on the shape of the reeds or her mobile phone. For Marcus, they may focus on the shape of the oar or the movement of the water. As many contrasting elements of dance as possible should be used when creating the shapes. For example, one student might make curved shapes, so the other student will contrast with angular shapes. One student might make shapes at a low level, so the other student will contrast with shapes on a high level. Teachers may want to prompt if the students are not contrasting well enough. Students will then record in their books the contrasting elements of dance that they have used. The students will then elaborate on their original shapes by evolving them into travelling movement. Again, students will record this into their journal books about what they have done. For example, students can turn their shapes into contrasting movements through using the use of speed, different rhythms, or directions. It is up to them. Students will then create a dance in groups of 4 using contrast to represent different perspectives of their choice. The conclusion of the lesson will have students coming together as a class to showcase their dances. The teacher needs to be considerate of angling so that they can see the class while students are performing to ensure correct audience etiquette is used. Questions could be, what do you think the dance is about? Why? How is your perception of the dance different to the original intention? Does it even matter? Differentiation of the lesson is to take careful consideration of all times of the student with sight issues, as there is a lot of moving around. Teaching considerations is to reiterate the expectations that students are always respectful when imitating others. Physical boundaries need to be stated and potential hazards taken into account. Resources are as listed.
Drama. Overview of the drama lessons. Drama lessons will provide a sequence of learning experiences based on the unit stimulus book, Same, Same But Different, as well as another resource, 29 Things You Didn't Know About Me by Solly Raphael. Activities will allow students to explore theatrical ideas by using elements of drama and consider the world through another perspective. Students will build confidence as well as cooperation, turn-taking, teamwork, collaboration, and appreciating the diversity and differences of students in our classroom. Within these lessons, students will have an appreciation of dramatics, actors, and experiences with performing that will be integrated in a sequential process of teaching and learning. The big idea of the drama unit is that students will explore theatrical ideas by using elements of drama and consider the world through another perspective as well as their own. Thank you.
Thank you.